Good evening, all. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, sister, we can hear you. Good evening.
Thank you, Father, for inviting me. Yeah, hi, all. I'm Lindsay T. Jose, OET aspirants from Edu Skills family. And I thank God and Father Serene Joseph and all the admin panel members for giving me this such a wonderful opportunity to present this class. So, yeah, today we'll be discussing about reading part B. Let's move on to the topic. So, once again, I welcome all to Edu Skills family for the Occupational English Test. Okay. So today I'm discussing about reading part B. As per Father's strategies, we'll be taking class according to Father's strategies only. Okay. So according to Father, the expected grade is A, that is 450 to 500. So we should always aim for 450 to 500. That is band A, not nothing below that. Okay. So everyone should aim for that. Okay. And now, moving on to reading part B. As you all know, when we are, doing the reading part A, it's like you have to do it in such very short period, that is 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes, your mind, everything will be, it will be in a very fast mode, your hands, your mentally, and everything will be in a very fast mode. So there is a transition from OET reading part A to reading part B. Okay. So what you have to do is consciously pacify down your brain, and then which later start collecting your part A booklets. I think everyone know that once part A is done, your answer booklet will be collected. Then part B and part C booklets will be distributed. So that period of time, you have to pacify your brain, and you have to just slow down your brain and compose yourself, like deep breathing, and slow yourself down gradually. Okay. And yeah, so the 5 easy steps to speed up during reading part B. So don't think that I just told that you have to slow down and again speed up. During the time period, how to find the answer, okay, easily. So that is the 5 steps according to our Father strategies. So in reading part B, they are testing your ability to quickly understand the gist and the main idea of a short text. And you have to select the answer from list of 3 which best matches the text. Okay. It can be like you think that all the 3 correct, the answer may be correct, but you have to match the text. So the first step is that you have to read the context sentence which gives you the information about the text type. Okay, there will be a context sentence. So when I show the example or model, you can find out in that. Okay. And then you have to read the question statement. Then read the answer options. Okay. So first you're reading the context sentence, then the question statement, and you're reading the answer options. Then you'll be reading the text. Then next will be your choose the best matching answer according to the text. Okay. And if you have time, check the other options in the text. Okay. So that you should be able to find the evidence to prove that the other 2 answers are wrong or incorrect. Okay. So once you get the correct answer, if you have time, but while practicing, you have to check the other 2 answers are wrong. Okay. Now, next, the type of documents used means what are the material you will get in the reading part B. So you can get some policies based on in the workplace, in the healthcare environment, work emails, or any instructions to the medical professionals, guidelines, and or manuals. So these are the documents from where you can get the content of the text. So these are the methods. And now the reading part B method, what we are following is, according to Father's strategy, is a QAT method. What do you mean by QAT? It is a question, answer, and text method. So first you will read the question, then you read the answer options, and then the text. So while you read the question and the answer options, I think you will be able to predict the answer options. You have to predict. Okay, as you read the answer options, you will be able to predict the answer. And then once you read the text, you get the correct answer. So while reading the text, you have to just take note of the nature of the text. What is the nature of the text? Whether it's an email, whether it's guidelines, whatever. Okay. And next, you have to identify the paragraph structure. So what paragraph structure is being used? There are different types of paragraph structure that Father is teaching us, that we can find in so many of his videos. And you can have like the main thing is like topic sentence, then you have the supporting sentence. So it can be based on it can be about a cause and effect language. Sometimes they'll be telling about a cause, and then they'll be listing out their effects, or there will be in the topic sentence they'll be talking about something like a problem, and next they'll be discussing about the solutions to that. So that is like the paragraph structure. Then you have to focus of the text on what is the focus of the text on, what is the exact thing they're trying to tell in the text, that you have to find out. Okay. Next, about reading part B, the skills assist. What are the skills assist in reading part B? There is the ability to identify the detail and gist or main point of the text. They are testing your ability, our ability, the candidate's ability to identify the detail of the text and gist or main point of the text, and also ability to identify the specific ideas at sentence level. Okay, so what is your ability to identify all this? These are the skill assessed in the part B. Next, what is the what do you find in the part B? What is the nature of reading part? That is that you have 6 questions. Okay, you get 6 questions. That is, under the 6 questions, each question will have short text. Okay, 6 short text from different healthcare workplace, and that will contain 100 to 150 words each. And what are the text you will be getting is like a policy documents, any hospital guidelines, manuals, or internal communications like emails or memos. Okay, and for these 6 questions, you will have 6 MCQs, that is multiple choice questions with 3 options, and the time limit for each question is 12 minutes. But you have to allot only, the whole 6 questions you have to allot only 12 minutes, and the method is as I told you earlier, it is QAT method: question, answer, and the text. You have to read the question, answer, and the text. Okay. Hope everyone are following me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So now, to select the correct answers, there are 7 skills. Okay, according to Father strategies. First thing is, when after reading the questions and the answer options, as a medical professional and following the Father strategies, you can eliminate some of the answers so that it will be easy to find the correct answer. Okay, before reading the text itself, you can just analyze. Okay, so first the thing is, you can eliminate the absolute. Okay, what do you mean by absolute? Something is to the maximum or the minimum, like all or any of these. So okay, to the both the ends. Okay, you can't tell all the nurses are working in India. No. So that is an example for absolute. Then eliminate the wrong ones. Wrong ones, like as you read as an health professional, I think we will be able to identify some of the wrong answer, which is it will be like totally not connected with the questions. So that you can just eliminate it. Then look for precise language. You have to see for the precise language, like whether it is more professional and scientific answer that is correct. Sometimes you get some grammatical wrong options, so that you can just eliminate it. Okay, and then straight opposite. Straight opposite is you have some 2 answers. Give one is positive and one is negative. Then it is like an opposite. So mostly one of them will be the correct answer. Okay, and then 5th one is radical answers. Radical answers goes beyond boundaries. You can just, it is like a fantasy, like you can't even imagine about it answer, just giving you vague answer. So that you can just, you think yourself, we have like using our common sense, like it is not possible, not at all possible. So those answers you can just eliminate it. And then educated guess. You have according to our knowledge, logic, and elimination, compare the questions, and then you can just eliminate. And then random guess. You can also have a prefixed answer. You can just, okay, this is the question, so this can be the answers. All these elimination, these methods, you have to, you can, before reading the text, you can have an idea almost which will be the answer. Okay, and then once you read the text, you will be able to select the exact correct answer. Okay, then in the reading part B, you have to focus on the heading or topic sentence to understand the gist or main idea in the paragraph. So the heading, you will have a heading and the topic or the topic sentence of the text. You have to focus on that so that you will get the what is the topic or what is the idea being discussed in that particular text. Okay. Next, so you also have to focus on the strategies or signposts or clues. So that is like you have to focus on paragraph structure, focus on topic sentence, and ignore the subject complements. Look for opinions after the contrast word. Focus on scale expressions, looking for hedging words in the question statement. Look for synonyms and synonyms language, and look for paraphrasing. Look for modal verbs, cause and effect language. And all these things you can see in Father's videos, which he has been beautifully explained each and every step. Okay. And what is a task or skills being assessed? Once again, I'll just tell. It is a 6 short workplace extracts, which the workplace-based policies, regulations, and procedures that need to be understood and followed in a medical workplace setting. So you get the 6 MCQs with 3 options, and the skills what they have been, what we are being assessed as the general understanding or the gist of the text. And you have to know what type of the document it is, what is it used for, and what information is it trying to get across, and synonyms and synonymous language used in the questions, and understand the general meaning of the text. Okay, so next, so again, same thing. So the 6 text, as I told earlier, it is 100 to 150 words, and the text are mostly not related to each other. Okay, there are different topics. Okay, I hope you had a slight introduction of the reading part B. So shall we move on to the to do one of the reading part B? All are ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So okay. So we'll have audio also being played. See, according to Father's strategy, Father's always says that see, in OET we have 4 modules, that is reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And all these 4 modules are interrelated. Means you can't learn separate listening, or you can't learn separate reading. Once you read, you do reading, you also will become familiar with the listening, and listening will help you to read. And all these 4 will help you to speak and write. So all 4 are interconnected. So we can just listen to the, you can also read the question according to QAT method. You can just read, and along with that, you can listen to the audio. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. There's some problem with the audio. I'll read it for you, okay? Can you hear me?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So the first question, when disclosing distressing information to patients, staff must avoid A, the temptation to use simplistic language, B, directing their attention at family members, C, any approach which leads to misunderstandings. So here you saw, this is the question, when disclosing distressing information to patients, staff must avoid, and the options. So before going into the text, you can have this keywords or hedging words in the question and the answer options. So in the answer options will help you to find out what you have to search in the text. Okay. So when you read the text, extract from a manual on surgery, disclosure. The delivery of bad news is very difficult. Arrange to talk to the patient in the company of family, preferably away from other patients. In some cultures, it's not common to give difficult news directly to the patient. We must be aware that norms and customs of our patients may not match our own. Often we try to soften the delivery of bad news by saying too much and confusing the matter, or by saying too little and leaving people with unanswered questions. Don't say neoplasm if what you mean and what will be understood is cancer. Be clear, allow people to understand and feel some of the impact of the news, and then allow them to ask questions. It is often necessary to repeat the information to other family members or to the same people the next day. Okay, so you have noted down the hedging words and in the question and the answer options. You can just drop your answers in the chat box, and also you can also have a piece of paper and note down the answers. Like if you are able to find out the answer, later you can just correct it. Okay, now, so you can see, so here in the question, I have marked distressing information to patient. So what do you mean by distressing information? It is a bad news or something. And here in the question, they're telling staff must avoid. So avoid in the sense staff must not do. They're not supposed to do something. So they're asking what is the task that they should not do. Okay, they must not do. So when you read the answer options, first one is the temptation to use simplistic language. Okay, whether they should avoid the use of simplistic language. So once you read the text, you can find don't say neoplasm if what you mean and what will be understood is cancer. So they're telling you should not use something like medical word terms like neoplasm when you are supposed to tell it as cancer, because as normal layman will not understand what is neoplasm. They'll understand better if you tell it as a cancer. So you have to use a simplistic language. So that is not the option. Then option B, directing their attention at family members. So they're telling you should avoid directing their attention at family members. But as you know, the first sentence, that is a topic sentence, the delivery of bad news is very difficult. Next, supporting, arrange to talk to the patient in the company of family, preferably away from other patients. So they're telling you have to talk to the patient in the company of family. Okay, so you have to attend even the family members also. You should not direct your attention at, you should not avoid, okay, the attention to family members. Now, answer option C, can approach which leads to misunderstanding. Any approach which leads to misunderstandings. So staff must avoid any approach which leads to misunderstandings. So you see, often we try to soften the delivery of bad news by saying too much and confusing the matter, or by saying too little and leaving people with unanswered questions. Okay, so it is like you tell about so many things. Sometimes you don't deliver the exact things what you have to tell. Okay, so there will be so many unanswered questions. And next, be clear, allow people to understand and feel some of the impact of the news, and then allow them to ask questions. So if they have anything they didn't understand, we should allow them to ask the questions. So that is that any approach which leads to misunderstanding should be avoided. So it is like almost like a paraphrase. Okay, here they're telling you have to make the patient understand. In the answer option, they're telling you have to avoid any approach which leads to misunderstandings. Okay, hope you understood the explanation. Can we move on to the next question?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the second question, the purpose. Yeah. The purpose of the guidelines for general practitioners is to remind them to write asthma action plans, to raise their awareness of the value of asthma action plans, to direct their discussions with patients about asthma action plans. Okay, so here in the question, I've marked the hedging words like purpose. And what is the purpose of the guidelines? What do you mean by guidelines? It's an instruction given to any of the professionals that you call as guidelines. So here the guidelines is given to a general practitioners. So what is the purpose of this guideline to the general practitioners? whether it is to, and you can see in the answer options, asthma action plans is repeated. Okay, so the keyword asthma action plans. And what is the options what they're given? Whether it is to remind them to write asthma action plans, or to raise their awareness of the value of asthma action plan, or to direct the discussion with the patients about asthma action plans. Okay, so now we'll read the, you can, as I read the text, you can just follow it. Policy guidelines for general practitioners. An integral part of asthma management is the development of a written asthma action plan by the person with asthma and or their carer together with their doctor. An asthma action plan helps the person with asthma and or their carer recognize worsening asthma and gives clear instructions on what to do in response. The process of developing a written asthma action plan is important, as this should be a discussion of the person's individual asthma and its management. The written plan is a reminder of that discussion. Written asthma action plans are one of the most effective asthma interventions available and have been shown to reduce hospital admission and emergency visits to general practice. Okay, so here, as you know, they are talking about asthma action plans. Okay, so here, what is the purpose of this guidelines? Whether to remind them to write asthma action plans. So here, as you read the topic sentence is the first sentence with the meaning, which gives the idea of this text. That is, an integral part of asthma management is the development of a written asthma action plan by the person with asthma and or their carer together with their doctor. So here, who is writing the asthma action plan? It is the person with asthma. Okay, so that is not the, they are just take along with their carer or with the doctor, but the main person who is writing the asthma action plan is the patient. Okay, so first option A can be eliminated. Option B, to raise their awareness of the value of asthma action plans. Okay, whether to raise their action, raise their awareness of the value, okay, asthma action plans, and to direct their discussion with patients about asthma action plans. Whether the GP or the general practitioners to direct the discussion with patient about asthma action plans. When you see the second paragraph, the process of developing a written asthma action plan is important, as this should be a discussion of the person's individual asthma and its management. Okay, this action plan is a discussion of person individual asthma and its management. Okay, there is no, they're not talking about the GP is discussing with the patient about the action plans. So that also can be eliminated. So option B, to raise their awareness of the value of asthma action plans. So what is the value? Why you have to make the asthma action plans? So in the text, you can see an asthma action plan helps the person with asthma and or the carer recognize worsening asthma and gives clear instructions on what to do in response. Okay, so what is the value of asthma? Why you have to make an asthma action plan? So to write, so you're giving the awareness to the general practitioners why you have to have an asthma action plan. So what is the value of that, or for what purpose they are using it? To recognize worsening asthma and gives clear instruction on what to do in response. Okay, so option B is the correct answer. Okay, so hope everyone understood. We'll move on to the next question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll move on to question number 3. The guidelines on chemical waste disposal stress the need for staff too. Okay, so here again, it is a guideline. It is guidelines on chemical waste disposal and stress the need for the staff too. What does it stress? Give more importance. Okay, what the staff have to do. Option A, take appropriate safety precautions when handling chemicals. Okay, so take appropriate safety precautions. And then option B, ensure that any chemicals in the hospital properly documented. So here the word is properly documented. And C, consult service providers before disposing of all hazardous chemicals. Okay, you have to consult service providers for disposing all hazardous chemicals. So when you listen to the, when you read, you have the heading, unknown and empty chemical waste container disposal. Unlabeled chemicals are increasingly difficult and very costly to dispose of and may require special analysis in order to identify them. Furthermore, the hospital's chemical waste contractor will now not remove any unknown chemicals due to their risk level. Every effort should therefore be made to ensure that all chemicals in use, in storage, or being prepared for disposal are fully labeled and described. If unidentified waste is discovered, you should immediately notify the hospital designated waste contractor via the help desk and complete an incident form. All empty containers which have previously contained chemicals for licensed disposal must be considered as hazardous waste until cleaned. You have noted down the hedging words. So as you see, option B, ensure that any chemicals in the hospital are properly documented. So here, as I have highlighted, every effort should therefore be made to ensure that all chemicals in use, in storage, or being prepared for disposal are fully labeled and described. So here you can see the same word. Every effort should therefore, should as a modal verb and therefore as a contrast word. After that you get the answer. Therefore, we made to ensure. So in option B, again, you have the same ensure word you can find. Ensure that any chemicals in hospitals are properly documented. So in the text you read this, ensure that all chemicals in use, in storage, or being prepared for disposal are fully labeled and described. Okay, so that is properly documented. There is a synonymous language being used. Labeled and described as properly documented. Okay, so that is the answer. And to eliminate the other two options, take appropriate safety precautions when handling chemicals. Okay, they are not talking about any safety precautions, or they are not explaining anything regarding the safety precaution in this particular text. Okay, and option C, consult service providers before disposing of all hazardous chemicals. Sorry, I have not marked the absolute, which is all. Okay, there's a all absolute, all hazardous chemicals. Okay, so when you, as I told, when you see a absolute, you may eliminate it, but before that you can just check with the text. So here, if after the answer option, in the text you can see, if unidentified waste is discovered, you should immediately notify the hospital designated waste contractor. Okay, they are telling if unidentified waste is discovered, then only you have to, you should immediately notify the hospital designated waste contractor. That is, hospital, the waste contractor is the synonymous word for language for consult service providers. Okay, before disposing all hazardous chemicals, in the options they are telling all hazardous chemicals, but in the text they are telling only about unidentified waste. Okay, so hence answer option C is also wrong. Okay, we move on to question number 4. Okay, question number 4. This memo is reminding pharmacist about. Okay, there is a memo given to the pharmacist and they're trying to remind them something. Okay, remind in the sense it's already there, they have to just remind them. Okay, so the answer options are the rationale for documenting incidents and errors, and the procedure for investigating incidents and errors, and the method for submitting incident and error. So they're talking about incidents and error. Okay, that is a hedging word. And the key words are like the other words we have to look for us in the text is whether it is a rationale. Rationale means the reason for documenting, why you have to document incidents and errors, and the procedures for investigating incident and error, whether they're talking about any procedure for investigating if there is any incident and errors, and method for submitting incident and error reports. We're talking about method for submitting. Okay, so when you read the text, it's a memo to all staff regarding pharmacy incidents and errors. Dispensing errors, other significant errors, omissions, incidents, or other non-compliances, including complaints of a non-commercial nature arising both within and external to the pharmacy, may be the subject of investigation. Pharmacists should therefore allow a risk management procedure, including appropriate record keeping. The record is to show when the incident was recorded, when it occurred, who was involved, both actual and alleged, the nature of the incident or complaint, what actions were taken, and any conclusions. If contact was made with the third parties, such as government departments, prescribers, lawyers, or professional indemnity insurance companies, details of the conversation should be recorded. Regardless of how serious the incident may appear, comprehensive detailed records need to be kept. The record should be kept for 3 years because of the delayed nature of some forms of litigation. Okay, so as you read the text, you can find out whether they're talking about the rationale for documenting, or whether they're talking about any procedure or any methods for submitting. Okay, so yeah, so here in the topic sentence itself, they're telling dispensing errors and other significant errors, omissions, incidents, or other non-compliances, including complaints of a non-commercial nature arising both within and external to the pharmacy, may be the subject of investigation. Okay, so these can become a subject of investigation. Some or the other day they'll come for, it can go for any investigation. Okay, so pharmacists should therefore, should as a modal verb, you have may also as a modal verb here, and therefore is a contrast verb. So you get the answer after that according to further strategies. Therefore, follow a risk management procedure including appropriate record keeping. Okay, so you have to follow a risk management procedure, that is appropriate record keeping. So what do you mean by record keeping? In the option A, you can see documenting. So paraphrasing or synonymous language. I'm sorry, synonymous word languages. So instead of documenting in the text, you read it as appropriate record keeping. Rational. What is the reason? Okay, so why you have to keep the keep this incident and error why we have to document this incidents and errors? It is because they may be subject of investigations. So pharmacists should therefore follow a risk management procedure, including record keeping. So that is the answer. And the other, and the other options B and C, the procedure for investigating incidents and errors. How we are going to incident if there was any incident? How we are going to investigate if there was any incident or errors? Did you find anything like that? Hope there is no procedures explaining like how to investigate or in this text. So that answer can be eliminated. And also the method, how to submit an incident or error report. That also is not been discussed here. Only about the rationale. Okay. What is the reason for documenting? It can be a subject for investigation. Hence, you have to keep a record of all these things. Okay. Now, next question number 5. Okay. So, what point is being made in this guideline about patients with multi-trauma? So, it is again, what point is being made? What is the point exactly they're stressing in this guideline? So, guideline again, I told it is given to the any instructions given to a professional is called a guideline about patients with multi-trauma. Okay, the options are: staff should make it a priority to rule out spinal injuries. Okay, so should is a modal verb, and make it a priority to rule out spinal injuries. So I think everyone know the meaning of the rule out. Rule out in the sense there is no rule out spinal injuries means there is no spinal injury. Okay. Then option B, spinal injuries are missed in a small but growing number of cases. There are chances to miss the spinal, spinal injuries are missed in some of the cases. Then option C, there is evidence that immobilizing a patient with the spinal injuries is helpful. So whether we have to immobilize a patient with spinal injury, whether it is helpful. Okay. So when you read the text, they are heading as evaluation of potential spinal injuries. Amongst adult patients suffering high energy multi-trauma, approximately 5% will suffer a significant, that is mechanically unstable vertebral column injury, VCI. And significantly less than 1% suffer a spinal cord injury, SCI. The main risk from undiagnosed unstable VCI is that further neurological compromise will occur. Balanced against this balanced against this rare but potentially catastrophic risk is the fact that the majority of trauma patients do not have a VCI, and a prolonged application of spinal precautions and immobilization is associated with multiple complications, including pressure sores, raised intracranial pressure, or ventilator-associated pneumonia. Furthermore, the efficacy of these interventions in reducing secondary neurological compromise is controversial. Therefore, patients in ICU should undergo spinal evaluation by CT imaging and interpretation by a consultant radiologist within 24 hours of injury. If imaging is undertaken out of hours, it is acceptable to continue spinal precautions overnight and review imaging early the next day. Okay? Yeah. So the explanation. Okay. So here, option A, staff should make it a priority to rule out spinal injuries. So should is a model verb, what the staff should do. So as you see, therefore, it's a conjunctional contrast word. Therefore, patients in ICU should undergo spinal evaluation by CT imaging and interpretation by a consultant radiologist within 24 hours of injury. Okay, so here the staff should make it a priority. That is, you have to do it within 24 hours of injury. Okay, so that's what it is telling. You have to make it a priority to rule out spinal injury. Okay, and the other option B, spinal injuries are missed in a small but growing number of cases. They're not talking about anything like that. It is missed or something. Okay. So option C is there is evidence that immobilizing patient with spinal injuries is helpful. Whether they're talking about like whether the patient with spinal injuries is helpful. That we can see in the text as, but that is also a contrast word, but potentially catastrophic risk is the fact that the majority of trauma patients do not have a VCI, and prolonged application of spinal precautions and immobilization is associated with multiple complications. Okay, so it is not helpful. So answer option C can be eliminated. So hence answer option A, staff should make it a priority to rule out spinal injuries is the correct answer. Okay. Now moving on to question number 6. What does this update tell medical professionals about bovine insulin? Okay, so this the update in a sense is almost same like a guideline. What does it tell to the medical professionals about bovine insulin? So option A, it's being withdrawn due to the risk associated with its long-term use. So you have the keywords like risk and long-term use. And B, users may experience difficulties when switching to alternatives. So you have the keywords like difficulties and switching to alternatives. And option C, any side effects are more difficult to identify in older patients. So, okay, so the hedging words, keywords, what you have been marked as option A is risk associated with long-term use, or whether the users may experience difficulties when switching to alternatives, or there are any side effects more difficult to identify in older patients. Any side effects which is difficult to identify in older patients. Okay, so when you read the text, it is a memo given to all staff regarding withdrawal of bovine insulin. So bovine insulin preparations will shortly be withdrawn due to limited availability of the active ingredient. As people with insulin-treated diabetes who currently use bovine insulin preparations will continue to require insulin treatment, they will need to be changed to alternative acceptable preparations. People using bovine insulins are likely to be older patients with long-standing diabetes. So they may therefore have absolute insulin deficiency. These individuals will be at risk of impaired awareness of hypoglycemia, predisposing them to severe hypoglycemia. Use of bovine insulin has been associated with the presence of insulin autoantibodies, which may impair the action of insulin. Porcine, human, or analog insulins are likely to lower the glucose more than the same dose of bovine insulin, and insulin dose titration may be difficult and unpredictable. People with bovine insulin-treated diabetes are therefore a high-risk group. Okay, so here you can see, the option A, it's being withdrawn due to the risk associated with its long term. They're telling they will be withdraw this medicine, insulin, due to its long term use. But when you read the topic sentence, bovine insulin preparations will shortly be withdrawn due to limited availability of the active ingredient. They're telling because of the limited availability of active ingredient, they are going to withdraw it, not because of its long term use. Okay, so the answer option A is wrong. Then answer option B, users may experience difficulties when switching to alternatives. So here, as you read, as people with insulin-treated diabetes who currently use bovine insulin preparations will continue to require insulin treatment, they will need to be changed to alternative acceptable preparations. So here, next, people using bovine insulins are likely to be older patients with long-standing diabetes. They may therefore, contrast word, have absolute insulin deficiency. Okay, so they are telling this. They have, when they switch to, they have to need to be changed to alternative. There is absolute insulin deficiency. Okay, so answer option, users may experience difficulties when switching to alternatives. Okay, so switching to alternatives, you can see in the previous line, change to alternative. What will the patient have? Patient will have insulin deficiency. Okay, so that is a difficulty or experience difficulties. So option B is the correct answer. And also these individuals will be at a risk of impaired awareness of hypoglycemia, which predisposing them to severe hypoglycemia. So these are the problems or difficulties. There is insulin deficiency and hypoglycemia. Okay, so option B can be marked as correct. Then option C, any side effects are more difficult to identify in older patients. They're not talking about whether we can identify any difficulties or anything, side effects or anything, whether it is difficult to identify in older patients. No, they're not talking anything about regarding identifying any difficulties or any side effects in the older patients. Okay, that's the last question for today. Okay, I hope everyone understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have to follow the I don't know whether there will be beginners and also consistent practice. Beginners and also they've already will be ready to write the exam. So you will be having so much mixed people in our group now. So for the beginners, I think it will be challenging to. They would have found it difficult to find the answer. But I can obviously tell that you can follow, you have to follow, you must follow the strategies of Father given in his videos, listen to his videos and watch his videos and take down his notes and practice according to his strategies. You should have a consistent practice and you can really, you feel easy to clear this part B or whichever section, like part A or B, whatever it is. So don't feel like you didn't get the answer or something like that. With the consistent practice, you can also get the answer, like elimination methods and all. Like it's once you become competent in that, you'll be able to eliminate the answer even before you read the text. That's what Father's, according to Father's strategies, if you're practicing, it will be easy. So hope everyone understood what I've explained. And yes, if you have any concerns or doubts, I think you can share everything in the main platform. And thank you all.
Congratulations,
Father.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Bye-bye. God bless
Father, thank
you.
you so
Bye,
much.
Father. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. And I want to tell you, my Edu Skills YouTube channel has more than 300 videos. You will never ever find such resources. But the full explanation, you have all the 4 modules, all the strategies explained in different videos. Definitely you can access them. They are all free. If need be, I will give all the links together in a single form, and you can just click on the links and reach the videos. If you watch them all, definitely I know you will not come here to listen to me because I have talked almost everything over there. Those are not just videos, they are the previous sessions uploaded. previous Zoom sessions uploaded on 4 subtests. Like we have contrast word based questions, you have gist based questions, you have topic sentence based questions, you have detail based questions, which is in the supporting sentence, opinion questions. All those are the different types of questions. There are different criteria. Those things also I have explained in my channel. And there are typical types, and only such types will be asked.
Thank you, sir.
If you find my smile attractive, we'll meet again.
Thank you, Father.
Yes.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you so much,
Father.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Father.
Father.
God bless you all.
It was very interesting and very, very, very informative session. And thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule. Thank you so much. God
You're
bless
most welcome. Most welcome. Yes. God bless.